Hello, very warm welcome. This is Care 7 Tech, and we completed Web API 0 to Hero series, and we started .NET Core 0 to Hero series, and we discussed on day 1 and day 2, and day 3 three topics on previous sessions. If you do not watch and directly came into this video, please watch .NET Zero to Hero series 2 videos. So that could be helpful for remaining topics because that are the fundamentals, and in every interview that is the main parts, and they will more focus on that. If you are a good developer or a very excellent professional developer but you can't answer that basic questions, the interviewer has he will think about like your knowledge like not a correct person of the basement is not strong. If you are constructing 10 floors building, if the basement is not good, then what will happen in future? The entire apartment will get down, right? So just look into that. Remaining three sessions of .NET Zero to Hero series, and today we will discuss day 3 remaining pending items, and after that, based on the time management, we will go the next session. And this is KR Tech. Please subscribe this channel, and let's get into the topic. Yeah. Day 3 we discussed building of scalable API with the using of ASP.NET. We discussed like how we will build as a ASP.NET web API project with the using of some CRUD operations for task and post and put to get delete these all methods. Uh, and we talked about middlewares and dependency injection and custom middlewares. Yesterday we discussed custom middleware, how to create a custom middleware. Like we created a logging custom middleware with the using of um, another. We created a separated class like a logging middleware, and we implemented that lang, and that logs are storing in that logs are came into our console application. And we discussed service lifetimes also, like in the dependency injection, like we have a three: add transient, add scoped, and add singleton. We discussed like what are the three service lifetime and which will use whenever we will use. We discussed, and routing concept also we discussed yesterday, like what are the what is controller also we discussed, and attribute routing and minimal API also we discussed in yesterday session. And we discussed this topic also in yesterday's session, like versioning, how we will maintaining API versioning, documentation of open API swagger. This topic also we discussed, and we missed these two topics along with this one practice build API with JWT authentication. This we already seen this in um, Web API 0 to Hero series. Like we build RESTful API with JWT authentication, and one more time we will see in this video security. In every technology and every application, security is a main part. Without security, like even no one is can accept like a secure. We are not giving a right security. Like if unknown user, like if we are not keeping password in our phone, and we are giving our friends, and if they are using such an unfraud like fraud activities, like it is not a correct, right? So that's the reason mobile phone has given as a like option to set as a lock screen. So that is a basic authentication of our mobile phones, and separate applications like WhatsApp or Meta or any application. We have a uh, double secure another security is there for entering the application. If we are taking as a banking application like Google Pay or mobile phone pay or Paytm, uh, in that we have a secondary two-way authentication is there. Like first we if you want to enter into that application, it will ask like a one type of authentication, like other more fingerprint or a face lock or pin or a password, any type of authentication. And if you are paying any amount to the such an another merchant account or any another account, automatically it will ask one more time of extra uh, security pin. So that is a security. Without security, even no one is nowadays, no one is using any application. So that's the reason security is came, and security is a biggest part in application. So that's the reason we will use the security. We have some security mechanisms is there in our .NET application. That is like one of the major and important security technique is JWT, JSON Web Token. Uh, JSON Web Token. Like we implemented a JSON Web Token by step with this document. I open my personal experience document like JWT token, JSON Web Token. JWT is a compact and containerization self-contained token. Sorry, JWT is a concept and self-contained token used for authentication and secure information exchange. JWT is a compact. It nothing but it is a compact and contained token used for authentication and secure information exchange. It is in a self-contained token used for authentication and secure information exchange in .NET Core. It means like it is in a compact and it creates this. It is self-contained token used for authentication and secure information exchange. With the using of token, it secure with the use of token authentication and its secure information and exchange. Next, in that, it often used as token-based authentication. It is used as a token-based authentication. After user logs in, server generated JWT and sends to the client. Once if user logs, it will generate a JWT and it sends back to the client. The client include the JWT in that authorization header like barrier token. The client includes JWT in authorization header like barrier token in the future request. Like once client receive the JWT token in each and every authorization like authorization token user, in the header like barrier token, what are the token has came into the client, that token goes into the future request. The server side validation, the token authenticate user. The server side validate, the token authenticate user. No need to check database every time. Like in the server side, like if you are sending in a token, if you get back, we receive once after login, we receive the token for each and every authorization. We will pass that token into our API, like API headers. So it will in server, the token will check whether the user is valid or not. If that valid, we can receive the response of remaining APIs. So that means it is no need to check database in every time. That is the main use of authentication, of any authentication technique like JWT, even anyone. JWT consists of three parts like header, payload, and signatures. JWT consists of three parts like header and payload and signature, and they are typically encoded in secure way. And it is typically encoded as a secure way. It contains like three parts. One is a header, and one is a payload, and one is the signature. And we can implement JWT token authentication with using this simple code. Like in program.cs, like we will first step is in program.cs, we will include this code in program.cs. Before that, we will install JWT authentication nugget package, Microsoft JWT authentication. We will install Microsoft JWT authentication NuGet package. Once we install this NuGet package, we will include this code builder.service add authentication option default authentication schema, JWT default authentication schema, JWT barrier default authentication schema. We need to include this code in this code. Along with this, we need to add barrier token option, validity is user, validity audience is to user, validity lifetime. And here we will it will convert our security code. We need to include this. Once we will check in our code, like this is my application, and here see in program.cs, I included this code builder.service add authentication, JWT default authentication, and add a validity. This is xxx code I included in this program.cs file. So that is a this is the, we need to include in program.cs. This is a main concept when we are implementing in the JWT authentication. If you are now if we are running this code, like see, this is my MVC project. Just now I created this MVC project because of my another session has came this thing. Next we will discuss OAuth. OAuth is a authorization framework, not for authentication. OAuth is a authorization framework, not for authentication, and through its often paired with OpenAID connection for connector for authentication. And let's the third party service access resource on behalf of the user without sharing the credentials. It means like behalf of user. CM. Okay. The token is created. This is JWT authentication. We will implement this method in our if user is present, user is there, we will generate JSON web token, and we will return the JSON web token to into our login page. Next, OAuth is an authorization framework and not a authentication. Not a authentication. Throughout, often paired with OpenID Connect for authorization. It lets third-party service access resource on behalf of the user without sharing the credentials. Like we are not sharing any credentials behalf of the user without sharing any credentials. uh, it lets third party service access resource. OAuth is a version most used in .NET Core. OAuth is version most used in .NET. OAuth 2.0 is most used in .NET Core. Common service like Google, GitHub, Facebook, and for social login, it involves access token, sometimes JWT and a refresh token. Sometimes we will use JWT token and refresh token. But what is it often to paid with OpenID Connect for authorization. It lets third-party service access resource behalf of the user without sharing the credentials. We will implement OAuth with the using of this builder.service add authentication option default schema, and we'll include this code like add cookie, add Google options like our Google client ID, our secret ID, this thing. And very next topic is like cross resource cross origin resource sharing. Cross origin resource sharing is a security feature of web browser that prevents web pages from the making request to different domain then the one of the served web page. It protection against the cross site request forensic. CASRF, cross-site request forensic. Cross is a security features of web browser that prevents web page from making a request to different domain. Uh, then the one of the served the web page. It is a protection against cross-site request forensic. Cross is a security feature of web browser. One more time, I will repeat. Cross is a security feature of web browser that prevents web pages from making requests from different domain than that one of the served web page. It means like third party request to differ like came into our server like different domain servers to our web page. It protects against the CSRF. It means cross site request forensic. You will need cross when your front end like React or Angular, back end like .NET Core. We need cross with the front end technology React or Angular or React. Anyway, React has developed Meta and Angular has developed Google, and like .NET Core for backend .NET Core, it is introduced by Microsoft. This is a different origin. Cross arrow allows the specific which domain and headers methods are permit. Builder data server add action allow origin allow any method and use cross special origin. Here also I implemented cross security. See, sorry, I opened wrong page. Sorry, in this I didn't implement cross. This also I didn't implement, but no worry. Yesterday, our application I implemented a cross. Here I implemented a cross builder dot service add cross option like allow local request policy dot with origin any header uh, any method. Here I implemented a cross in .NET Core. So that is cross. And the next topic we will discuss error handling and logging, exception, middleware, Serilog. Next, how these work? JWT handles authorization. Who are you? What handle authorization? What you can access? What handles authorization and JWT authentication? JWT's handle authentication. Cross make sure request from allowed source, preventing unauthorized cross origin request. API versioning. Yesterday we discussed API versioning. API versioning in the API allows that introduce the changes breaking you. Like when we are creating a new API, we will maintain the version of that API. If next any developer he can understand easily with the using of version, and if he did any change in that API, if he changed, we can track easily. So that is an API version. And Serilog is a powerful and flexible and structured logging library for .NET, perfect for .NET Core. Let's set up and implement it. Like Serilog is a powerful and flexible and structured logging library. For logging, we are using one flexible tool like that is a Serilog. By step for logging only. Especially, we are using Serilog for logging only. These are the steps. Like first, we will install the Serilog package, like .NET Add package. We will install by step. These are the CLI commands, and if you want to use this Microsoft NuGet package via. So we will install. First, we will set up this as a startup project. We will install manage NuGet package, and we'll goes to the NuGet package. This has not came due to some internet connection. internet connection. Before that, we will discuss how Serilag will config in program. After that, in program.cs, we will include this. We will install. Otherwise, we will run the app and the options in enrich and strange. I installed and I wrote this code builder.host using Serilag, and here I added this log file, and my code has succeeded. So here I came error posting is failed to start. See, here I can find all of my errors. So this is an Serilag, like logs. We will maintain Serilags with this using of Serilag third party tool. And next exception middleware. Yesterday we discussed we created a error handling. One second, sorry, said like this is an Serilag. And error handling, we will use error handling. We can and try and catch blocks in C sharp. Like in the try back we will write a method. If any error is happen in the try block, it automatically goes into the catch statement and it will return whatever we wrote error message in the catch block. And for logging also we will maintain like separate user defined logging. Suppose if API error 401 come, if we want to uh, give a message to end user, we will implement our custom logging technique with the using of Serilog, and we will create as a separate middleware logging, and we will implement our logic like what are the response code and what is the message we need to send as a client, that we will implement with the using of custom middleware, the using of logging. And Serilag is a third-party tool which we can maintain logs, versioning document we used, and practice for build API response authentication. Just now we discussed like in through this project implemented in program.cs. I implemented first. I installed my package and I implemented this sample code and admin control like in sorry in authentication controller. Sorry, login controller. Here I wrote this code. Login authentication user. If authentic user is valid, I will generating my token and I will returning that token to my client. So with the using of that token, any other request, uh, it will pass that HTTP request along with that token. So that is a authentication, JWT authentication. This is a day 3, and now the day 3 session is completed. Uh, if you have any doubts and any clarification, feel free to reach me, and please like this video and please subscribe this video once again. And we are planning, we created as a web API interview questions, and I am planning to, once this .NET core session is completed, like almost 3 days is completed, only 4 days is pending, and I'm planning today this session. I'm continuing with part day 4 first part also. So that's the reason I'm explaining this day for first part. So I think most of this Monday we will complete this .NET session. So others after that we will release that interview questions for each and every technologist like .NET and ASP.NET and C Sharp OOPS concept interview question. This interview question I am maintaining that all things, and we will see day by day for one. After this .NET Core and Web API, we will discuss about Angular, and after that Angular, once we will discuss about Microsoft Azure and Microsoft. No. After this .NET Core, we will discuss interview questions of Web API and .NET Core and C Sharp, and after that we will create a series of Zero to Hero Azure Zero to Hero series, and after that we will take a video. We will create a video of Angular Zero to Hero series, and then after we will Angular and Azure interview questions. After that we will talk about advanced thing of Microsoft microservices architecture and difference between monolithic and microservices, and we will create a separate project of microservices. This is day three, and day three is completed, and we'll get into the day four of parts. Like day four. Day four is entity framework core and database interaction. Like now, from day one to day three, we covered like all the things without needing database. But day four, in this day four, we need to interaction between client and server, but we need to store that details and that all the things in any of database, whether that is an SQL, that is an NoSQL, even that Cosmo DB or PostgreSQL and Oracle. We want any database. Without database, we are not creating any application. So that's the reason we are maintaining in a database. And in that database, in previous like a .NET framework, we are using ADO.NET as a database connection between server and backend. But in .NET Core, we can use the ADO.NET also. But many technologies has upgraded, and ADO.NET also, each the code complexity is very high. So that's the reason some ORM tools are came, like object relation management tools are came. And in that ORM tools, one of them, like popular ORM tool is entity framework and Dapper. Now we are not discuss Dapper, because Dapper has some advantages and some disadvantages. But in interview perspective of in any projects, like now they are using entity framework core only. First, if you want to use, we will discuss about what is the entity framework and how to set up entity framework, and how we will how we will create entity framework core migration files. First, entity framework core is a one ORM tool. See, therefore, entity framework core is an ORM tool, like object relation mapper in .NET Core, for working the database easy, object-oriented way. Let's walk into the handle and which is the entity framework core. And then if you want to use an entity framework core, we need to install these things. We will see an sample video, so they will understand easily. First, we will install step by step. We will install this NuGet package. Without this NuGet package, we can't um, use this entity frame. We can't use entity framework core. So that's the reason. So I'm installing Microsoft Entity Framework Core. This is an official Microsoft .NET Entity Framework Core. And after that, I'm installing Microsoft Entity Core SQL Server. And then after, I'm installing Entity Framework Core tools. and my packages are installed like I installed three packages: entity framework, core entity framework, SQL server, because I am using SQL server, so that's the reason I installed SQL package tools. And next I am creating a simple class as a product class. So here I am giving as my name. Here I am writing as this, and then I am setting that JSON. This is my DB connection. Here I am giving as my DB connection, and I created as a EF core trusted connection true. And here I am running my. I am creating my migrations with using of NuGet package. NuGet package console. It is using the migration files will create. I am facing one issue. Let's see what is this issue. I will search in Google. These are the steps, and it is using CUD operations. If you wanted to add CUD operations, packages are missing. Anyway, I will. This video is length is long because due to this reason. So I will create and I will explain where I did a mistake, and we'll continue another topics like. Now, in entity framework, we have two approaches are there. One is a code first approach, and another is database first approach. Database first approach means like we will create like a database, and we will create tables, and that thing we will do first. After that, we will based on that structure, we will wrote our server backend code. And code first approach means like without creating a database with our code only, we will create a database according to our requirements and our logics. And in the code first approach, we will creating as a migrations and a scaffolding, we will maintain as a scaffolding like automatic code generations these files. And code first approach is a good approach to me because the developer is don't need to and he don't need to and he don't need to wait as a SQL developer. So that's the reason code first approach is the best thing. And the migrations means like we are generating as a migration files like table structure and table code, that all things comes under the picture in migrations. We'll see like collaborations in that code first approach. We are using context app TV new context like product as a new laptop, and this thing I will create this entire project in one sample project, and I will share this on next video because this video is length is enough. So that's the reason, and this is for reading data, this is for deleting data. And code first approach is creates database, build them. And pros: clean and flexible, no node to existing DB. Cons: require more setup for DB already exist. Database first, when we have existing database, generate the model like .NET scaffolding, and these things we will do. Migration is a keep DB schema sync with the model classes and add migration database, add migration, add apply migration, remove migration if you want to remove that migration. Fluent API versus data annotation. Data annotation is nothing but if you want to give any validation in our code, like is whether they are required or whether email validation, at the time we will use data annotation in entity framework code. Like if this is my table, right? If I want to use mandatory for this name, this is a data annotation. And if you wanted to give as a email address, these are the data annotations. And features. Fluent API in on model creating method using attributes and models. It is used. Data annotation is used in the models, and Fluent API is used in the model creating method configuration. Features. Flexibility. Fluent API flexibility is high flexible complex mapping, and data annotation is quick and easy and for simple rules. Relationship, better for advanced relationship, good for simple relationship for navigation properties. Fluent API, if you are creating a Fluent API, we will give as a model builder entity, and model builder entity is regular maximum length as this is a Fluent API. See here in my AppDB context. See here I wrote this thing, right? This is an affluent API, and if I'm going to the cart or a cart item or anywhere this is required, these are the annotation. It is a quick and simple database relationships, and this is for complex. Like if I'm giving is in AppDB context, the length, whether the length, the maximum length 0 or has maximum length 100. So this is a complex for better advanced relationship, and this is the difference between fluent API and data annotation. And I hope this concept is clear. What is a fluent API and what is data annotation? See here, key data annotations required maximum length. Code first approach. For new projects, you cannot control and DB design. Code database first approach when you are working an existing database. When you need advanced configuration and flexibility, we are using Fluent API. For simple models and quick setups, we will use data annotation. Next, we will go to the link your two entities and optimization, eager and lazy loading and no tracking. These two topics we will cover in the next video, because almost the video length has around 1 hour. So we'll discuss these topics in the next session. day 3 and day 4, and after that day 5. Day 5 is advanced topics, and day 6, these are also advanced topics, but it will understand easily. So day 7 is a mock interview. Day 7 is a recap. So thank you all. Please visit our official website, kr7tech.com, and please subscribe this channel. And if you have any doubts and any clarification, feel free to reach out me, and I will respond within 1 hour. If you want any additional queries, please visit our official website and raise a ticket. Thank you all. Have a great day. Bye bye.